Apologize for the delay. Okay, so we're gonna get real hot and heavy up in here this evening. It's now about 30 minutes. 30 minutes behind, but it's okay. So we're gonna catch it up. Let's see. All right. So I just want to remind everybody of these little flyers. We have a Lyrical Junction Saturday, February the 10th here in Columbia, South Carolina. So if you are here, come and embrace us with your presence. It is a Lyrical Junction. We have some vendor tables available. So if you want to set up a vendor table, it's $40 if you have a door prize and $50 without. And it's going to be held at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites here on Garners Ferry Road. Oh. We also have coming up, this is some new training with my brother African Emporium. It's called Investment Training, and it's going to be held on Thursday evenings. And that training is going to be for only individuals who have actually paid. So you have to commit to 3 months, and it's $30 per month. So that's $90. You have, and he will work with you in reference to a payment plan. I don't have the payment plans. I would actually be in that class, and so we're going to be learning how to invest and from the basics. We are starting on Thursday. We're going to be doing a little meet and greet, little overview of what are investments, stock, bonds, real estate, cash producing assets, cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency. And as you can see on the screen, he's going to be doing some technical analysis, some due diligence, some market analysis charts. So he's going to be showing us what indicators are, some risk management, investment sentiments, how to buy and sell, and how to hold stock. And it's going to go on Thursday evening. So if you are interested in participating in that investment training on Thursday evenings at 8:30 p.m., then you can either email daggersquad1@gmail.com, or you can inbox me on Messenger, and I will put you in the group. If you've already been identified that you wanted to take the training and I added you to the investment group, the only way you can stay in that particular group is if you've once you've paid African Emporium. And so you could get with him on his Facebook is Willis. Let me get his Facebook name so I can make sure I give that out correctly. L-L-I-S. Willis Shamel Addison. That's Willis Shamel Addison. And you can inbox him and message him, and he will discuss with you the payment option. And so that's not my lane, and I don't take care of payments, but I'll be participating in that class as well, as I stated. And we're going to learn how to invest. And of course, as you hear, they talk about the $5 a day, the $10, whatever. You got to learn you have to know where your money is going and how to grow your money. So many of us know how to make money by getting a job and working, but do you know how to grow and sustain your money? And so this is where we're headed in the 2018 to kind of increase your net worth. So whatever dollar amount you decide that you want to invest this year, you should have more come January 2019. So no one should start this process and end up in the same economic situation or financial situation 12 months from now. So we know investment is a long haul type deal. So you got to have some discipline, and that's why we're only dealing with those who actually are serious about investing from the ground up. Now I'm going to probably, with Kenyana, I went to a Forex class last night, so there's a strong possibility I'm going to get involved with Forex, because I like the training that they have in the videos and in the step-by-step hands-on, so that I can learn more. So I'm going to double dip these two trainings so that I can learn, because I don't know anything about, I just know the basic investments. I don't know how to trade stock, and that's what I want to learn. So if y'all are interested, or you know someone who is, hey, by all means. Is someone getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say something. This Melissa. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm into I just started 4X as well.
Really?
Trading. Yeah, there's a network marketing called Our Market that does that, and I
Yeah,
just got involved with them.
yeah,
So yeah, we having our first meeting Friday. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good investment because the residual is phenomenal.
correct. And so you've already started trading? Are you in the demo phase? Or you started
I'm
doing live
I'm
trading?
Yeah, I'm still in the demo stage, but I'm about to do live trading come probably next week because they have you can do live trading while you learning, but you also can it's this app that they get charge you I think $15 or $10 a
Oh,
month where it's called swap trade, and what to do, the expert gives you the trade and you just go in and follow what they do and you make money off it as well. So
correct. I
different
see.
ways you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that app last night as well. Cause Kenyana, she's already doing it. I watched her do it for a few months and whatnot. And um, I have a couple of the other apps. Chris, are you in Forex? Are you just doing Robinhood, Stash, and Acorn?
No, I'm not. I'm not into forex. I
Okay.
won't. I won't discourage anybody else from doing it though. So that's good.
Yeah, I plan to do it for about 3 months because I think that'd be about how long it takes me to kind of learn. And then, of course, I'm taking African Emporium class, so that's going to be my New Year adventure. It's just venture off into it for about 90 days, and then because I don't know, because it's hard to get people to give you the basics of what you're trying to learn, and everybody's just kind of talking over your head. So when I seen it and I seen they had training, then I was like, okay, I can go learn this stuff, and then I could come back and I could kind of understand what African Emporium is saying or anybody else out there is actually talking about, because it sounds foreign.
So you gotta inbox him to find out how much we gotta pay for the class or what?
Oh no, African Emporium is $30 a month, and you got to commit to 3 months. You got to inbox him to pay him. So you could either, he's either gonna take it all at one time, or he can set up a payment plan with you, or whatever he's gonna do. He's gonna be fair. He's already said that. I just don't want to talk about any payment plans or whatever he's doing with the person that he's dealing with. I
Right.
want to make sure that the information gets out, and that we all communicate. That's the only part I want to handle.
Okay. Yeah. Because I need to ask. How is he structuring his programs? Is he talking about investing like into stocks in one period and then crypto in another period and maybe something else? So I want to see how he was doing that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Look
That's why
into
the first class, the Thursday, is a meet and greet and to get familiar with what's gonna happen. And I know he also do some individual mentorship included in that price on one-on-one. Um, and he's gonna do some group training with everybody. And so we're gonna discuss that on Thursday.
Okay. All
You
right.
know a little bit more about trading than I do, so I'm just following the leaders. But I want to learn because I'm sick of people just talking at us about investing, but nobody's giving us a block of instruction on
Right.
what to do. And that's the only reason I'm gonna take my little investment to that Forex just for the 90 days and do what I can do, and then see, you know what I'm saying? So I can, because it seems like it's like pulling teeth just to get somebody to give you, from elementary on up. I can't be at the PhD level. I need to go back to preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's
Definitely.
definitely you definitely have to lot out some time and because the charts and stuff. The pits are pretty got down pat, but the charts is where I'm still learning it
And how long you been in it, Melissa?
for about a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to know. personally about more about forex. I had a guy that was trying to get me into it. Like you can't sell me, you know. Like when people pitch stuff, they normally call somebody else to explain it, and I'm cool with that. But if you don't do that in the beginning and you trying to get me into something, then 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna buy into it
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
because you don't know what you're talking about, and you have to call somebody else in the middle of a conversation to confirm it. I'd rather you just start it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to learn it though. I watched a video or I was on a conference call about it. It seemed interesting. I just haven't really sat down and be like, okay, I'm a invest into trying forex, and I don't know how it works. So uh,
yeah, I went to a briefing, so I was in there live. This guy out of Atlanta, and Kiana, like I said, I've been watching Kiana do it. Because she took a much more advanced investment class with some I forgot what nationality they were, but she that she took in the summer. I think it was summer to September, and so she already, I just kind of watched it. I'm like, okay, somebody got to give me to this in practical knowledge, real time,
right.
layman's term, because this is not gonna. Yeah, I want to get into it. I do a little something with my little stash app, but I would like to do more. So I was like, you know what? I'll just make the investment in this and see what I can learn, and then maybe because I like hitting people at the beginner level, at the intro level of
Hmm.
information. And then once they got it or they got the lingo, then I could push them off into somebody else like a Boyce Watkins or whomever out there, because now they understand the terminology. If we don't understand the terminology, hell, I can't go and try to buy a stock. I don't even know what's going on. you know, so that's what I'm. But anyways, that's what's gonna happen on Thursday evenings. And of course, if you want to get involved, I put you already in the group, and then that Thursday I will put the hangout and the private YouTube out. So just in case we have more than 10, and then you can ask how is this going to work, what he's doing, and if it's something you want to get involved in, you make the $90 investment, 30 a month, 10 a week, whatever y'all come up with, and go from there. So if anything, if it's something you don't want to do, or if it's a waste of your time, and you still can write it off on your taxes.
All right.
So Mo, add me to the group, please.
Go, yeah, okay, I got you, Caesar.
Thank you.
He's acting like he want to be my best friend, Sean and Chris. Y'all better watch out. All right. All right. Another thing I have going on, I'm going to actually do a little bit of this live on tomorrow. It's like a little lunchtime business career expo that I came up with, because a lot of people have a very condensed evening schedule. So I'm going to try to capture some people doing lunch and talk about some strategies in reference to contracting, the capability statement, the budget, income shifting with my econ, technical proposals, and then the call center. And the reason I'm doing this is because, like I said, many people, people have kids, they have lives, they have families. But if they could come at lunchtime and we could tackle information one by one and kind of get you somewhere in business and set some benchmarks and some goals, then we can make some things happen. So I'll be doing this once a week on Wednesdays from 11 to 1. And so you can chime in on the YouTube channel. If not, that's fine. I'm not even looking for a massive audience. Ones and twos, 5 to 10 is fine with me. But there's someone made a comment yesterday, and I said, oh boy, we back to the same comment again. I remember 10 years ago, the same comment. There's a huge project going on here in Columbia, and the first thing they say is, well, we don't have any minority contractors. We don't have any minority. Let me back it up. We don't have any minority contractors who are willing to do the paperwork to come and bid on the contractors or to be a subcontractor. And I said, here we go with that conversation, because I can recall prior to President Obama being in office that that's what they used to say, and they made it very difficult for us to get in the contract world. And so now, and then when he came in, it was a lot of oversight to put some key people in place, and we were able, they made those site visits and opportunities, they forced them to make it more visible. So they would put out things like flyers and announcements, and so when you would see it, you could go and you could get the overview of what that massive contract was, and that you already knew they needed 30% to be DBEs or MBEs, which is disadvantaged business enterprises on the contract, or woman-owned or Indian-owned for that matter. And you had the opportunity to see who these large companies were, who were coming into your communities and taking advantage, because they were coming from out of country, out of state, taking advantage of the contracts. And so you had the opportunity to voice your opinion or network with them and get on that contract. But now that President Trump is back in office, we back to the same drawing board. So when that person made that comment, I had already did this flyer and started to promote. When he made the comment about not having minority contractors, I said, he's not from here. So I said, we had this same conversation 10 years ago. I can tell you exactly, because that's the time they put out the comment contract. And we were one of the people who went to bid on it, all because the transparency. So he pitched to the powers to be to actually do exactly what I'm going to be doing at lunchtime in the downtown area of Columbia. So I asked him, can I be a part of the team? Because I think I got something to add to our contractors who are going to be coming forward to write those, do those proposals and those budgets and things of that nature. And so that's what they get ready to venture off and do. So I was telling them, I gave them my flyer and told them what I was going to do on this end. And so that's one of the reasons I started to do this again, because I used to do this once a month before I met all of you. Chanel at that time is when I met her a couple years ago. I was doing these kind of seminars once a month, and I would have about anywhere from 25 to 40 people that would come out, and I would provide food and all of that great stuff. And I would teach them everything that I'm teaching you right now. So hello. Oh yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing during the lunchtime, giving those block of instructions. And so there you go, Erica. If your buddy is available during the lunch hour, I'm going to be going over the whole contract and budget thing at that time as well. So it's going to be intense. It's not going to be one of them little patty cake type trainings just because it's lunch. My portion of it, I'm gonna because I'm working on the workbook, so I'm gonna take it from beginning to end like I normally do, to tackle it and make sure that people actually get ready to be, because we got some major work it is being done here, but our people don't have a play at the table. If you did a consensus of minority contractors in your state and who's getting favor, and Chanel can attest to this because she has contracts, but most of her contracts now are private. Is who are they giving the funding to? And a lot of the funding is coming down, and it's there, but we're not getting an opportunity. And it is true that a lot of our companies are afraid of the paperwork because they've never experienced it and don't have anyone to make it plain for them, so to speak. And so that's what I'm going to attempt to do on Wednesdays at lunchtime. So if y'all know anybody interested, there it is. Oh, and it's $5. You got to contribute $5. You want the live stream, you got to get it $5, right? And that's just to put back into the nonprofit, right? So I have a passion for doing this, so that's why I don't mind doing it for a little something. All right. So my motto is train your team in 2018 this year, and the acronym TRAIN for me is transition relationships and innovative networking. Basically, what we're doing right now. Everybody knows I don't let everybody into my hangouts. Only those individuals who have either contributed to the calls or they're on my econ team. Everybody else is in the YouTube, and at a certain point I turn the YouTube off and I only deal with those who are on the hangout. It's not being selfish, it's just being fair. All right, so just to reiterate, because I do have two new learners on the Hangout this evening, is if you're going to do business with the government, you have to have a corporation or a limited liability company or a partnership, or you can have a joint venture. The reason I point out the whole corporation deal is because you can have a non-for-profit corporation, uh, and the corporation, normally if you're doing a limited liability company, you operate as a corporation, meaning you're filing, meaning you put in your 2553 or your 8882 when you first, if you are a single owner, or you have more than one partner and you are filing an S corp or a C corp, one of those, or you a LLP, or you're a joint venture, which means you're multiple organizations or corporations going after specific projects. Now, in the very, very beginning, you need to have if you don't already have an EIN number, you just go to the irs.gov website, apply for EIN. I went over that last week, so if you don't remember, you can go back and you can visit that YouTube clip on how to go to the IRS website and apply for the EIN. Then you have the articles of incorporation, articles of formation, or articles of organization, depending on your state. Here in the Carolinas is the articles of corporation. You go down to the Secretary of State, which is on Pendleton Street, and you can file your corporation paperwork. It's $110 here in the state of South Carolina. Articles of amendment. Articles of amendment comes into play when, let's say, for instance, your mom owned a company and then now she wants to give it to you, but your name wasn't on it. Then you go down and you do an amendment. Either one or two things. You're taking over the entire company or you're adding to. And you would, many cases, you would put the percentage of who has what in the company. You also need to change your operations agreement to reflect the new change. But anytime you had to submit documents, you'd have to submit the original articles of incorporation and also add the amended articles. So these are documents you want to make sure that you keep it in a safe place. The DUNS number. You need a DUNS number. It's a 9-digit code. It's where the government houses your business credit. And so you want to make sure that the DUNS number doesn't give you a documentation. It actually sends you an email. So you want to safeguard that information as well. Matter of fact, just create your business folder on your email and put those important documents there. Because once you get into contracting, these documents are very important. Then you have the SAMs, SAMs.gov. The SAMs is the administrative area of where your information is housed. So any changes in your business, you have to go in SAMs and update. So if you started your business 2 years ago and now you're certified disadvantaged business enterprise, a DBE or MBE, then you need to go into your SAMs and update it so it can reflect it. If you're a women-owned certified now, you need to go in your SAMs and make those changes. If you started your business, you only said you was making $3,000 in revenue per year, and now you're making $30,000, then you need to go in SAMs and you need to update it, because that's where the government gets their information. When you go to file at the Secretary of State, when you file at the Secretary of State, you have to identify who's going to be your registering agent. That registering agent, you can serve as your registering agent. You just have to make sure whatever state that you're actually being incorporated in, that you have a physical address and not a PO box and sometimes they even frown on a virtual office, right? So, for instance, once you start doing, you start expanding in business and you start crossing state lines, this becomes very important and relevant to you. If you're just operating in the state where you live, then it's just you and your company, and it kind of goes over your head because you put your name down and you wouldn't really bother. It's only when you start to cross state lines this becomes relevant, and you're trying to find someone to put their name down or use somebody's address, or maybe if you don't already have a brick and mortar. Now, if you're doing business strictly online, then you register. This doesn't really have an effect on you because your home address becomes that. However, if you cross lines to So for example, I'm living in the state of South Carolina, and I wanted to bid on a contract at Department of Corrections in Louisiana. Then I have to register in the state of Louisiana, or they probably won't consider my contract because you want to show favor to the people there. But if I wanted to, if I said I had a brick and mortar there, if I went to register there, if I went to bid there and I went to register in the state, they're going to ask me for a registered agent, which can be myself, but I have to have a physical address in the state of Louisiana. So you can bid anywhere. It's just that if you tell them that your business is located in that state, then you have to get a registered agent located in that state. So a lot of people use lawyers. The paperwork is not that difficult once you learn it. So you don't necessarily have to get a lawyer to validate your documents. However, if you get in a partnership, then you may want to get a lawyer to look over your operations agreement to make sure that the legal terms is fair and justifiable and reasonable according to both parties agreeing standards. So this is a website where you go for your NAC code, which is the North American Industry Classification Code. Now, this NAC code is the number that identifies your business. Now, if you was on a MyEcon call last night, what it is, Monday night, I think it was, or Sunday night, whichever day it was, June was making reference to the Schedule C. People was having questions about the industry code. I think he was calling. Let me pull it up on my phone. The industry code, and it's the same thing as your NAT code. It's the 9-digit code. And if you went to, let me pull up the Schedule C. If you went to the Schedule C, in box B, in B box, it says enter the code from pages C through 9, 10 through 11. So if you went there to those instructions, it will give you the same list of NAT codes for your industry. So if you're wondering what you're going to put on your taxes, if MyEcon is your only business, then it's a direct sales NACS code that you would put there. Let me pull it up. Page 7, block B. Yep. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. So they're calling it a professional business, a principal business, or professional activity codes. That code is the same thing as a NAC code if you look it up. So when you go to look it up and you go through the instructions, you should be able to look up the code for direct sales, which is, I should know by heart. It's okay. I find it before the end of the thing. Trade real estate. Yeah. If you are so that's one of the numbers that you'll get asked about a lot if you're doing government contract. They'll say, what is your NAT code? And so you should know this is one of the numbers you should memorize along with your EIN number that gets asked a lot and your DUNS number. So you will hear me talk about these all the time. Copyright. If you're one of those people, you got a very unique name. People love to go around stealing names and things of that nature. Or content. If you're selling something that has content. So if you, like, I'm going to work on a workbook, so I'm going to have to copyright that information. This is the copyright website. You can copyright online, or you can actually mail the information in. If you're putting websites together and your wording is unique to you, then you want to copyright that information. Mute that mic again. Trademarks and patents. A lot of companies have unique, distinct marks, right? So now it's not just the trademark or the patent. There's also a service mark. In the Carolinas, they also have a service mark now. So, but this is the U.S. patent and trademark actual website. So if you want to trademark your logo, if your business actually has a unique logo, then you want to go in and trademark it. You could trademark with your state. This is expensive. I think it's like $350, $375 out the gate. If you're not familiar with the paperwork, don't go in heads on trying to do it yourself, because it's non-refundable if you make an error. So I always use LegalZoom for this one, or I will use a lawyer. Now they're gonna charge you a couple dollars, but it's worth it, especially if you want to protect your artwork. If you don't have a logo, you're looking for something simple, you like me, see my little Tri-City logo in the corner, just the word and the text, you can come to Fiverr, you can get one for $5. You know, or if you know a graphic designer, you can get one for $75 or maybe $150, sometimes even $350, just depends. But if you were looking for business cards and you don't really have the capital to start purchasing that kind of information, type of graphic design, then you could come to Fiverr, and it starts as low as $5, and you can work your way up, and it's multiple salespeople. If you're a person that do graphic design or write or whatever, voiceovers, as you can see, you can actually sell services on Fiverr. So that's just another home-based business opportunity. All right, let's get into some information. All right, so you will hear people talk about contracts. They'll talk about it in two capacities: one, prime contract, or subcontract. Prime is sometimes more larger companies, but not limited to. It could be a small company if you have the qualifications. Primary contract is like I was talking about earlier. These are people, they have the insurance rates, they have the money to start up personnel, they have the equipment, they got the past performance, they're ready to rock, ready to roll, they've done this before, they can come, they can hit the ground running. Subcontractors, maybe not so strong, probably been in business less than 2 years, looking for a way in or a way to get into the contracting world, so they will contact the prime to subcontract some of that work, right? And so basically that's kind of like the rule of thumb. If you have less than 2 years you've been in business, then look for some subcontracting opportunities. This is more for service contracts. If you're drop shipping, this really don't apply to you. The contracting world, keep in mind, especially when you go in from a subcontracting perspective, keep in mind that those large contracts have to have at least 7% small businesses, 5% small disadvantaged businesses, 5% women-owned businesses, 3% service disabled vets, 3% HUD zone businesses. So if you were marketing your business, your services, and you went to a company, you can go to their website, or maybe you can solicit this information from them to find out, especially if they are receiving federal funding, you can find out how many of these category of businesses that they actually do business with. Really be surprised how many people aren't meeting the standard, and they will say exactly what I said earlier. Oh, we don't have minority businesses or this category of businesses that are actually applying to give the business to the other side of the house, side of the tracks. So what are some of the roles and responsibilities? So when you look at government contracting, these is two key roles I'm just going to touch on real quick, and that's the contracting officer and the contracting office, this contracting officer representative, and then the contracting officer. So my slides is out of order. Hold on a second. Yep, they're out of order. Okay, so the contracting officer representative, this person normally holds the role of doing more administrative information, like the invoicing, the billing, maybe taking receipts, checking, make sure you got the supplies, processing, approving the payments that come through, or the supplies that have been delivered to the actual government agency. This person is not the person that you want to rub. You can rub elbows with them, but that's not who you want the favor with. This is the individual you want to favor with. This is who you want to reach out and market to, get to know who this person is, and that's that contracting officer. That contracting officer is the only person legally authorized to bind a governmental contract. They ensure the contract is authorized by law. They ensure that it's legal and it's technical sufficient to be able to be performed. They always safeguard the government's interest. They sign all the contracts, modifications, notices, corrective actions. Everything goes through the CO. They are the ones that you need. If you're going to market services, then you want to know who that individual is. So if you're in the mental health world, then you want to be that procurement officer. You want to get to know, if they doing conference, you want to get to know who their procurement person is, their contracting officer is. If same thing for transportation, professional services, consultant. I mean, anything that has to do with services or that or a type of contract that comes out, even if it's something less than $3,000 contract, drop shipping, doesn't matter. Whoever those contracting officers are, that's who you're going to communicate with. That's who you're going to send questions to. So when you pull up a solicitation, that person name is at the very bottom of that actual solicitation. You see their name, address, and the phone number. In many cases, you may see the CO and the COR, the contracting officer and the contracting officer representative. So what are some types of solicitations for governmental contracting? Well, you got your invitation bids, you got your request for quotes, your request for proposals, request for quotes, your source, your unsolicited proposals, and your simplified acquisitions. In the invitation bid, that's more, they're actually doing some marketing. They're going out, they're looking for information to help them build that particular solicitation. They're not it's not an actual, it's like a precursor to the solicitation. They're just looking for information. And a lot of times you will see it will say source. That means they are looking for your capability statement. Capability statement, I'll show you later, is a one-page picture of what your company is. It will have your company information, the address, the phone number, your DUNS, your SAMS cage code, your email address, the website, all of the NAT codes that you're servicing, your past performance information, your competence of the type of service that you offer, if you have any certifications, and your company description. That's what they're looking for. In i.e. example, they may be looking for a cover letter that says, that's directed to the contracting officer. Let them know that you're interested in a particular situation, in a little brief one-paragraph overview of who you are and who's the point of contact for that that pre-solicitation. The request for proposal, that's more your meat and potatoes of what you do. It's like what you do and how it actually matches the scope of work. It's usually put out for about 30 to 90 days for response. Some may be more on the 30-day end than the 90-day. The 90-day is more of when they have the source, then the pre-solicitation, then the actual solicitation. It all probably balls up to be 90 days. But most requests for proposals, unless it's something very large, it's probably going to be less than 30 days. The request for quote, these are more my drop shipping folks. This is more where you're going out for equipment and supplies. So it's a one-time purchase deal that you're sending to the government. You go out and you buy it and you send it off. So they're not looking for a whole elaborate 25-page proposal. They're looking for whatever they sent you, which is a price sheet, and your cover letter to send back to them on how much you're going to charge them and what your interest is. The sole source is those contracts that can be awarded to a company without competition. That's when you've been you in cahoots with the contracting officer for services, because then you can get awarded a source. Like when there's disasters, they do a lot of sourcing. very quickly because they don't have time to go through the whole proposal. So that means you probably already in the know or somebody on one of the certification lists, and they're reaching out to you very quickly and they're awarding contracts. The unsolicited proposal, same thing, awarded a lot of times through real quick acquisitions that go out, disaster type responses, emergencies. They don't have time to really go out, but we have rules and regulations that actually cover that procedure. Like I can't just come up, if I was a contracting officer, I can't just say, oh, I want to do an unsolicited proposal and there's nothing going on, there's no rhyme, no reason, I'm just doing my own thing, right? You have to make sure that it's a worst case scenario type deal. And simplify acquisitions are simplify acquisitions and the quotes with the drop shipping or kind of hand in hand. It's not a lot of money on the contract, and so they just need 3 quick quotes to go and do what they got to do. So they had to purchase some equipment, they just need 3 quick quotes, do what they got to do, and they keep it moving. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. All right, so who normally bids on federal contracts? Of course, large businesses, but there's a lot of small businesses who are still in the realm of doing things. So what is a small business for federal contract? It's someone who's for profit, located and operated in the U.S., pay U.S. taxes, and produce American products. If you're into drop shipping, you please make sure that those products are American made with American companies. You do not want to get caught up in those products came from a foreign company. It's a big what they call representation certification notice on that contract that you have to read that will tell you that those products have to be made in the USA. Right, and there goes that NAT code again. Got to make sure NAT code agrees with the contract that you're actually bidding on. We talked about the DUNS number. Again, it is where your pretty much your business credit is housed. And so if you don't have a DUNS number, what you have to do is you have to make sure you click that you're going to be a government contractor so you can get it back within 48 hours. Otherwise, they're going to make you wait 30 days. The EIN number, again, you'll be very familiar with that number. Now, when they send out the EIN document, you can download it because you're doing it online. That's the only time you're going to get that document. If you lose it or you destroy it and you have to write to the IRS, you're looking at 30 days, honey. So you better make sure you scan it and put it in an email, scan it, put it on a cloud that you can actually find it, or just create yourself a business binder. We already talked about the SAMs. All right, so when you go to register for SAMs, that's the reason I have it in that order. You have to make sure you have your EIN and your DUNS number. The first thing they're gonna check is your EIN. You can't even get through the registration if you don't have a DUNS in the first. Because what happens is the two systems mirror each other. And so when you log on and you put your DUNS number in, they're gonna fact check Dun & Bradstreet. If the information you put in SAMs is different from the information that's in Dun & Bradstreet, it will give you an error. You won't get past that point. For example, if you use your mama's address in Dun & Bradstreet because you started your business 2 years ago and now you're just getting ready to get it started because somebody told you about government contracts, and now you have moved and you're in your own house and you go into SAMs, you done forgot all about the Dun & Bradstreet deal because you have your DUNS number, so you're not really concerned, and you go in SAMs and you put your address, you're going to get an error. So when you're doing these applications, you have to make sure you pull out your documents and make sure every address agrees. If you change an address, you have to do change of address forms. Very, very important. You want to make sure that you have your gross sale receipts. So it says 3 years. Let's say you started your company, you just started January 2018. Of course, you have to have 3 years back, right? So it would be 17, 16, and 15, where you weren't in business in 17, 15, 16. So it will be 0. One of the things to be careful with the EIN number is the same thing. What name you put on that EIN documentation, I'm talking commas, dashes, whatever you have involved. Because if you do something different, then it will give you a hard stop. It happened to me when I first did it. I had a comma between LLC and the last word in the business, and I couldn't figure it out for nothing. I'm looking at all the characters and everything, and when I got on the phone with the IRS, like, somebody finally said, ma'am, I want you to spell out everything you see, including space in between the words. So I had to say space, such and such, space, such. And so when I said comma, she said, say it again. She said, you found your error. I was like, what? Yeah, so helped me up for 6 months. So somebody else who had an S on one word and didn't have it had an S on the Secretary of State, and the EIN was different, it gave him a hard stop. 3 years. I had to help him out. So those are little things that you learn. The number of employees, if you start off with 4 and now you have 1, you got to go and make that change. You cannot complete your SAMS registration if you do not have your bank account number and your routing number and account number, without putting a routing number and account number in there. So if you don't already have a business account, then you need to put your personal account in there. All right. And there goes that NAT code again. Also, when you're doing SAMS, it'll give you opportunity to certify with SBA. Those self-certifications don't really hold much weight no more unless you're going for the 8 alpha certification, but it's still good to put your information in SBA because they have a lot of virtual, online, free classes you can sit and take at your leisure to get more familiar with the terminology and doing contracts. All right, listen now, if you're going to market to the government, you need to have yourself some promotional items, right? The first one you need to come up with, even if you don't have a lot of information on it, is the capability statement. And I'll show you an example. You need to create yourself some business cards. You don't necessarily always have to have flyers and brochures unless you have that type of service that you constantly have customers, car wash or pressure washing, that kind of thing. You can have a website. There's some cheap, inexpensive websites. You can either create them yourself. I've seen some corporate websites, and they ain't all that. So when people try to get me to do some elaborate website, I'm like, have you looked at Sprint's website? Please, there's a whole bunch of ads all over the place. So my website is doing good. I'm not giving $450 for something that big corporations don't even spend that kind of, well, they probably are, but you know, it's not all elaborate and flashy like most people try to get you to do. Then you want to, if you're going to sell services, like for instance, we're doing the call center, so I had to put together a presentation because I'm going to get referrals from different people. So I had to put together me a little 1-hour presentation, something that I could speak on for no more than 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and then take questions. So if you have that type of service where you want referrals from other agencies or other companies or other organizations, then you want to put together a presentation and then have your elevator pitch together. Be considerate of people's time. Everybody's not going to give you their time, or you can't assume that they're going to give you an hour when really they only got 2 or 3 minutes to talk to you. Okay. So here's some examples of a capability statement. Notice at the top they have pictures of what their company is actually offering, the name, they have their website, they have the cage code, the DUNS number there, they have the address, the phone number, email. What else they got on here? They got the core competence of basically what they actually do. They have their NAT codes. They got their past performances. If you're a new startup company, that past performance is important. So if you're doing services for people, try to make sure that you use them as a business reference. And then as you see in this past performance block right here, you know, you could put, of course, you may not have the military. It may not start off with federal stuff, but whomever it is, make sure you got the name of the company, where they're located, and who's the point of contact, right? If you have certifications, then you want to put that logo, those logos on your capability statement as well, because it stands out. This is what, when you put out source sort, and they're doing marketing research and they're looking for information on companies, this is what they're looking for. You would create you a one-page one like this in the cover letter, and this is what you send them. When a government agency receives this type of information from you, they know that you understand government business. If you just go in there and tell them you didn't know, then guess what? They're gonna pass you right by, and you definitely won't be getting that contract or even being considered. So that's why I point out these examples, because this is important information for you. All right, so this is a website that most of the government contracts are located, fedbizops.gov. When you go to the website, if you click on the option, the request for proposal, you see request for proposal. This is the sections. This is how, when you create a statement of work or when you create your table of contents for your proposal, this is what you need to, this is basically what a solicitation would actually have in their proposal. This information right here. If you've never put a service contract together for the government, for the services that you provide, if you go to a contract that deals with your service, any contract, and you pull their statement of work, you could pretty much put your company, your services together to meet that government qualification, literally. And all you do is tailor it to what you do. It takes time, of course, but it's something you have to do, especially if you're going to offer services. Because you got to keep in mind, those people have been working their job for years. So all they know is what? Their job. They're not practitioners. Many of them don't own their own business. So the only thing they know is that terminology and wording in that solicitation. So guess what you got to do? You got to make your proposal cater to their eyes and ears of what they're looking for. Again, this is an outline. This is what they're looking for. Any solicitation you see, they want that cover letter. They want that proposal, that technical management information, meaning you're telling them about your company, what it is you can do. This is a perfect example, your capabilities, your past performance. That cost proposal, that's what I'm going to spend a lot of time on, because that's what make or break people, is putting them numbers together and making sure they sustain enough in their business to keep to increase their net worth and sustainability and pay themselves. And then terms and conditions and your certifications and representation. This comes from SAMS. That's why you got to make sure your SAMS is updated, because you have to print the latest version when you're dealing with the federal government. They want that online version, and it date stamps when it's the renewal date, because they do updates a lot. And so you have to make sure that you stay on top of your game administrative wise. These are some resources on where you can go and get some free training. It's the acquisitions website. This is some more resources. I'm not going to get into that. Not tonight. I want to skip down. Skip down. Let's do this. All right. So at this point, I want to just kind of give you I'm just gonna, so I got about 30 minutes. Okay. So this is what I'm going to spend a lot of time on right here. This sheet and then the drop shipping sheet. Let me go to the drop shipping first. Let me go here first. All right.
Excuse me.
All righty. Okay. Just gonna make you familiar with this drop shipping piece. Okay, so now a lot of people want to get into drop shipping and they want to take training with Cheryl. Thank you. With Cheryl in reference to drop shipping. One of the most important areas to understand when you're drop shipping is those numbers, right? So I'm just gonna give you an overview example. I'm gonna break these numbers down. So let's say I was buying some computers, which is not recommended you drop ship. The reason is it's not recommended that you drop ship computers is because the computers come with one. Yeah, I said thank you. The computers come with the warranty. And if you can't fulfill those warranties or upgrades, then you can get yourself caught in the catch-22, especially if you didn't account for that in those dollars or you're not a real IT person, right? So that's not something I recommend that you drop ship. But let's just use it for practice purposes. They were looking for 6 computers. So we found some computers for $1,879. So you take the unit cost times the quantity, you come up with the $11,274, right? Keep in mind that you may have some taxes involved. Common mistake when you drop shipping is when you go to a
Supplier.
A vendor.
Oh.
Or a supplier. Oh, go ahead. Your little training.
Oh.
Go ahead, train me.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
A supplier, right? And you sometimes when you first see this unit cost and you get the total cost, you may not initially see the taxes. You got to make sure you know how much they're going to charge you in taxes. Because if you don't, let's say you didn't get it when you first looked at the price because you're overzealous, you move it too fast. That means when you go to cash that item out or they send that invoice for payment, that $1,000 is going to be included and you're going to be short. So you know where it's going to come out? It's going to come out of your markup if you even have a markup. Don't get caught up with that. That's the first thing I want to tell you. When you go to look for a product that you want to drop ship, make sure you have the unit cost, the total number of items that they're looking for. You multiply that out and make sure you include the taxes. This amount over here moves over to the material cost, right? Another point, this one right here. If you are drop shipping on the fedbid.com, if that option is Fedbid, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let me go to the website. Fedbid charges a fee. That fee is not always seen when you first go into the website and you choose and you see the item. You can see the Fedbids, you can see that fee once I think you get to the end. When you get to the total at the end, like it would change depending on the cost that you put into the site. Let me bring it up. Now, this is not, I don't really like to get into this because this is what Cheryl teaches and it causes me to take more time than necessary. But I just want to point this out from a drop shipping perspective. Let's see, let me just find an item. Drop ship. All right, shirts and jerseys for an academy. Solicitation just came out. on the 30th, which is today, right? Let me open. Okay, so this is not a fair biz one. So if I was to drop ship this item and go and look for these particular specs, then I won't have a fee. However, if I scroll down, you see this one right here that say FedBiz, fedbiz.com.
Okay, it's an fee.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has a fee involved. So if you went out and got those items and you didn't include that fee, guess what? Guess who's gonna be paying out their pocket? You will, because they want their money. You and they will bill you, right? So that's the point of distinction when you're going out and you're looking for some items. See this one right here, military supply kits. This one just came out as well. This is a FedBiz item, right? They're gonna charge you. And they just started doing that, and we know why they're doing it. Anytime we get involved, you know, the us start learning something new, and they start benefiting, they start taxing us. That's just how they do. It is what it is. Some uniform, or this has probably already been handled. That's just what I'm talking about. All right, when I talk about FedBiz. And so what I had to do, because I didn't initially have this in my chart, I had to go back and add this in. Depending on where you're getting the bid from, or the solicitation is going to determine if that fee is involved, right?
Yep.
All right. Shipping. When you get your total, you have to find out if that supplier is going to charge you to ship. And the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes this is not very obvious when you first do it. I know you're like, man, I shop online all the time. They take you the taxes and the shipping. Well, when you do the class with Cheryl, and what's that website y'all go into?
FedBiz.
Is that no? When you go to find a supplier, when you're looking for Ariba.
Yes.
When you go into Ariba and you're looking for a supplier to help you to supply these items, you know, some suppliers will give you everything you need, and some don't. You have to make sure that they're going to give you the information necessary for you to close out this order. This one, the shipping expense, the FedBid fee, and the taxes is what I noticed that people have been leaving out, and they're getting caught up and having to come out of pocket. Now, I'm not going to break all the numbers down because I needed to cover that overview of government contracting first. This factoring company fee right here, this amount varies, so I need to take this out. And I'll send y'all this spreadsheet for those who want to drop ship. This amount varies. If you go out, let's say you're interested in drop shipping. You're interested in drop shipping, and you don't have a factoring company. A factoring company is a financial institution that's going to lend you money because based on your government award, purchase those products for you, and you pay them a percentage of sales of doing so.
Okay.
And then that's what a factoring company. So, for example, if you got good credit, right? You can, and you win a government contract, you can go to your bank and say, I just won this drop shipping award. I have this many days to purchase the product. I got me a supplier. This is how much they're going to charge me. I mean, this is how much money I need to fulfill this order. They're going to, you won the award at $12,960 because once you, well, let me back up. Hold on, got my little 15% in. And I'm just speaking an example for right now. And then I'll break these numbers down next Tuesday. For $15,352.16. To your bank with your government award because you want them to fund you because you got your little good credit, 630 or above, get your little business loan or whatever. They're gonna be your factor income. They're gonna financially back you up. You want them to give you a loan for this amount right here. And the reason is $13,349.71, because they're going to charge you 3% on this product. They're going to charge you 3%. So they're going to take that $388.82. Once they buy that item from the suppliers, once they buy those computers and they pay that supplier, then they're going to take their 3% off, which is the $388.83. When the government pays them, they're going to take back this $13,349.71, and then they're going to send you a check for $2,200. Let me say that again. I know, because y'all got real quiet on this. Once you determine, okay, I found my supplier, I'll break the numbers down on Tuesday, because I need my whole 2 hours to break them numbers down. I can't do it in less than what I needed. But I'll make sure I try to get the people on the hangout earlier. Once you went out and you find a supplier, and that supplier says, I'm gonna sell you 6 computers with taxes for $12,274. Right? That's your $12,274. We ain't even gonna talk about you right now. Paying you. We ain't gonna talk about that. Let's just put 0 right here. Right? When you go to your bank, your credit is up. You're doing good. Credit is up. You got to add, remember, if you did fair bid, you got to add your $300. Let's say it's 0 shipping, right? You know that you're going to ask them, or before you go to do drop shipping, you want to gain that relationship with your bank, that loan officer. You can go to them, let them know, listen, I'm in the government of contracting, I'm doing drop shipping, I'm purchasing resale items and selling them back to the government, and I need some financial backing. They're going to ask you, do you have collateral? What's your credit? Okay, you know your credit is doing pretty good, or maybe you even got a credit card that you can back yourself. You don't need to go to the bank. But if you don't, you got a couple of dollars. Okay, so you go to them with your award. When you go to them with your award, they're gonna ask for credit or collateral. If you don't have any collateral and your credit is substantial, then they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna charge you for the amount you need. We're gonna charge how much is the items that you need to buy with shipping. They're not gonna ask you with shipping. I'm telling you to make sure your shipping and your fair bids and your taxes is included. And you're gonna say, for me to purchase this $12,574. They're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna charge you 3%. You let them know, okay, with that 3%, 6%, 5%, whatever it is, that you want to borrow that much money. So with 3%, when I add the $12,574 to the $377.22, I get $12,951.22. So you want to let them know that's how much you want to borrow, the green. Your award, you already know your award. You already did a 50% markup when you won the contract. So your award is really $14,893.90. But when they get their money from the government, they invoice the government, they get their money, they're going to get a check for $14,893.90. They are going to take $12,951.22, and they're going to send you $1,942.68. That's how that works. Make some noise or something. Yeah, right. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, what I have to do is I have to take a solicitation like it just showed you for shirts, and then I have to go through, and then I have to break down the numbers. Now, the part that I'm going to spend time on first, I just wanted to just say this overall. What I'm going to spend time with first is this part right here. Everybody who's doing business have to learn how to pay themselves. You got to get out of the habit of using your business account as just a personal account and you just spending sporadically doing whatever. And the only time you worry about what expenses is what is during tax season. You got to get in the habit of creating yourself a paycheck from your business and then allowing your business to sustain and maintain a certain dollar amount, plus start to invest some of the money, right? Network, especially if you want to be in business for the long haul. Now, if you just want to just pity pat with business, you know, fly by here, fly by there, you know, get something here, get something there, and keep it moving, then that's fine. You can handle business however you want to. But if you want to really be good in this contracting game and be a business that have established cents on your doorsteps, then you want to create you a paycheck and then let the business do what it do. And so I'm going to spend time on how do you come up with your own salary rate and your employees or interns or independent contractors, whomever. I mean, how do you come up with their job titles? Examples on what you can use to come up with their occupational titles. The hours per user, or how to create their hourly rate and how to calculate all of this and add that into. So in particularly, we're going to start off with you because you got to pay yourself that amount. See, most people, what they do, they want to drop ship and they want the whole $1,900 for themselves. Company. If you really want to be good at drop shipping, pay yourself a certain amount out of that $1,900 and leave the money there so you back the money so you can build business credit, so you can build with who are you banking with, a financial institution or a credit card, so you could sustain yourself. You could purchase your own items and benefit from it. So this little $377 you gave to the bank to help you out, you could be doing it for yourself if you could build the dollars up. But what happens is we so pressed for money, spend it all. We want the whole thing. And then we got to start all over again. And again, if you take a certain dollar amount out of here and put it away for business and let it stack itself, let's say you're like, you know what, Mo, that's too long. I can't be going through no whole how to pay myself and come up with my job description, all that extra stuff. I just know when I drop ship, I need to be making at least $1,000 for me, and the rest I leave in business. That's fine. And if that's the case, put your little $1,000 into the calculation. Here. That means you already know I have to pay the bank $407. The amount I need to borrow from the bank is $13,981.22. The bank gonna take its $407, and we good. That's a wrap. And you could do it that way. But if you want to expand business and grow business and hire people and create some employees or create some economic development in your community, then that concept does not work. You got to create yourself a paycheck, put some money back in your business and begin to invest some of it. Important. And that's why we got to take it step for step. So this year I'm doing something just a little bit different, kind of get you familiar with the terminology, and then I'll get deep involved with the budgets. And this ain't for everybody. Big crowds. This is not for everybody. Tell them, Chanel. She probably multitasking. Yeah, it ain't for everybody. She's had her experience on the ground with these government contracts. You know, you got to take your time. You know, you gotta get familiar with the information, how it actually works. Got to expand. You got to train. And you just got to stick at it. And you look again, because she has about several contracts right now. But even she's in training. So what does that tell you? Information is important. So my last 10 minutes, I'll take questions. I'm gonna break this spreadsheet down. I'm gonna start from one little block and work my way over. And the first thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna go ahead and get these websites. under your belt and get these charts. And that is the GSA website, because I'm going to deal with the per diem. How do you pay yourself as far as if you're going to travel and do things, provide services, hotel rates, food rates, planes, and all of that great stuff. How do you come up with these items over here? And I'm also going to do, where is it at? Oh, not that one. ONPF, which is the Office of Personnel Management. And all of these are government websites. And so everybody is based off of how the government does things and their regulations, because everybody gets federal money at some point. And so I'm going to go through these pay charts right here and show you how to come up with these numbers. And you look again, if you ever got audited, you're going to be on point for the nation, because you're going to have justifiable and reasonable methodology on how your business is ran. And people don't mind funding you if you know what you're doing. Right? So, let me see. Any questions?
Let's see. No, not really.
I want you to send me one of the drop shipping contracts that you worked on, so I can use it as an example.
Me?
Or one that you was thinking about. Yes, you.
I haven't actually worked on one. I need to get in contact. I need to get back in contact with Cheryl.
Okay.
So, cause I was in contact with her, but that's when my aunt passed away and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give her a call tomorrow to see that if we could get back in contact and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
what's up?
Close out. So let me close out the YouTube real quick.
You think she'd be able to work with me again? Because I kind of feel bad. I just didn't let her know and stuff like that.
Oh, Cheryl, you can contact her. All right, everybody, the YouTube land. Let me close this out real quick, Caesar.
All right, cool.
Y'all remember we got our little investment training coming up. So if y'all interested, hit us up in the messenger or email daggersquad1@gmail.com or email African Emporium himself. And if you're in the Columbia area, we have our little lunchtime business career expo. So if you're interested, come on out and we're going to get it in. So thanks everybody for watching. Peace and love.